Right, next one we're going to do a lovely container for a shade garden. Absolutely fantastic container. This time slightly different. We've got an ericaceous compost. It's slightly acid because some of the plants that are going in prefer it a little bit sort of more acid. And obviously some of the nice plants, acers, if you put an acer in. First one we're going to use is a Fats Hedra. Now, you're all going to say, well, that's going to get too big for the container. It will eventually, but at this moment in time, it can stay in that container for up to 2 to 3 years. So we're going to pop this one in. This is an architectural plant, so this will grow in the shade. A lot of architects like to use this around buildings. Remember, what are we not going to get with a tall plant? Middleitis. We're going to put this in the back of the container. So many people have this thing about putting a plant in the centre and then going around it. We want to create the same as you do in a border. In a border, tall plants at the back, medium plants in the middle, small plants at the front. It's exactly the same principles in a container. Now this is an absolutely beautiful one. This is known as heuchera. Now it does get flowers. Now you'll just think I'm absolutely mad. I actually just cut the flowers off mine the other night. I don't want it to flower. I want it to keep nice and compact and produce that stunning purple foliage. The darker and nastier the area you put it in, the better it does. So if you've got a really shaded area in your garden, that's where you can put it. So we're going to pop that in, and straight away, look at the contrast of foliages there. You've got stunning dark purple leaves. You've got your lovely green there. It's already coming together. And then what we're going to do, this is a beauty, this one. This is a gorgeous little one called Houtonia. Two fantastic things to tell you about this. Changes colour right throughout the year. When you brush against it, it smells of citrus, and it deters cats from your borders. So if you don't want cats to visit a particular border, that's obviously Houtonia. The only problem with Houtonia, if you plant it directly in the ground, it's invasive and it can get everywhere. If you're going to plant it in the ground, leave it in the pot, plant it in the pot, a little bit like mint, and you'll see when I tip it out, there's the roots already starting. They will actually fire up, and before long they're in your block paving and everything. But in a container you've got total control. Pop it in, same beautiful foliage. It does flower, gets stunning little white flowers, and again the smell of citrus and orange. We're now going to put a beautiful autumn coloured fern. It's called an autumn fern because in the autumn this fern actually goes red, which is really unusual. And again, fabulous, stunning foliage. So we're just going to pop that in there. And look at all the textures already. You've got lots of textures. People just don't think you can produce. If you did let the heuchera flower, you could in the container, because it would fire up these lovely purple stems with little pale yellow flowers on, and it will give another shade to it. Again, we're going to use one of my favourites. We're going to pop in a Hedra. Small variety again, remember. Small leaves, variegated foliage. And it won't get too invasive and take over. And then look at this, a golden heuchera called Limelight. It's a new variety. So you've got your purple heuchera at the back, and we're going to drop in that absolute, it's a stunner, it's a gem, it wants to be in everybody's garden, this. I'm popping it in there. Now look at that. Now that is a container that will brighten up the darkest spot of anybody's garden. Absolutely tremendous. And that will last you for years. You're looking at a container there that's going to last you 10 years at least. Okay.